everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Jen Pierce, and I'm one of the travel agents with Marvelous Mouse Travels. We are the agency that runs this Facebook group, along with several others that are focused on different destinations. And we are also Universal's first ever diamond level travel agency, which just speaks to the volume of vacations that we plan to this destination and also the level of expertise that comes along with that. Welcome to Sundays with MMT. This is a weekly live agent panel video series that we do in one of our Facebook groups every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So we're very excited to be here in our Universal group tonight, which is actually our largest group, to talk to you about our rank order of Universal's on-site hotels. This is one of the most common questions I know I get asked as an agent is, which hotels are your favorite and why? And so we're going to kind of share a little bit of that information with you tonight. So we'll be starting with our least favorites personally, and then working our way all the way up to our number one favorites. But we also would love to hear how you would rank order these hotels. So feel free at any point during us sharing our rankings with you to drop your comments in and share how, whether you agree or disagree with us. And also, if you have any questions, we would love to take those questions. So feel free to drop those in the comment section at any point tonight. We are using a platform called StreamYard to go live this evening, and it might ask you to approve it to display your username and profile picture. Just know that you can decline that permission and you can still post anonymously and interact with us that way. So I'm joined tonight by three of our marvelous agents. Ladies, thank you so much for being with us tonight. And if you would take just a second to tell everybody your name, how long you've been with the agency, and the best way for people to contact you if they're interested in planning a trip.
Hi, my name is Allison DePisa. I am a master planner with Marvelous Mouse Travels, and I've been with the agency for almost 3 years this fall. And you can reach me on my Facebook page, Allison MMT.
My name is Amy Grunt. I've been with the agency just under 5 years. You can reach me at my Facebook page at Amy Grunt MMT.
Hi, and I'm Jen Travis, and you can reach me at jennifer.travis@marvelousmousetravels.com, and I've been with the agency just over a year.
And again, my name is Ginger Pierce. I'm also a master planner, just celebrated my 4-year anniversary with the agency last week, actually. And the best way to reach out to me is to visit my blog, which you can find at gingermmt.com. So, ladies, I'm sure you all experience what I experience, where probably one of the most common questions that you get about Universal is, well, what's the difference in all of the different hotel levels? Which ones offer what perks? Because it can be a little bit confusing if you're maybe taking your first trip to Universal, or maybe it's the first time you've ever stayed on site. And so, that is a huge question that I get. Probably next under that is, are express passes worth it? And how do I tell the difference between the ticket types at Universal? That would be like the top 3 Universal questions. So if you are looking for the answers to the express pass question of whether or not that's worth it, we have actually done another Sundays with MMT session on that topic. So you can search it in the group, or you can search it on our YouTube channel, which you can find at youtube.com/marvelousmousetravels, and check that out and our opinions on that. But tonight it's all about resorts. So we're going to share our rank order. So let's start with number 8, because as you may or may not know, there are 8 on-site properties at Universal that fall into 4 overall categories. We have our value resorts, which are going to be Endless Summer Dockside and Endless Summer Surfside. We have our prime value hotels, which are going to be Aventura and Cabana Bay Beach Resort. We have one preferred hotel, which is Sapphire Falls. And then we have 3 premier level hotels, which are Hard Rock Hotel, Portofino Bay, and Royal Pacific. So, ladies, what is your least favorite, your number 8 in your rank order of on-site Universal hotels?
Well, someone has to be number 8. I'm sorry, Universal. I have to pick one. I am going to go with Surfside. Surfside is a value resort. It's located a little bit further away from the parks than the rest of the resorts. And well, it's right next to Dockside. It's sister resort, but I give the edge to Dockside because it has the lobby bar. So a little bit more going on in the lobby, a little bit more action. But needless to say, I mean, they are both great resorts. And I love the fact that they're so affordable, and they're not really they're very nice, tastefully decorated, great pools, great atmosphere. But because it's further away, walls are a little thinner, I'm going to go with Surfside. Sorry.
Well, my number 8 is actually one of the premier resorts. I'm not, I know, right? Even though the benefits are fantastic between the Universal Express Pass, the water taxis, the closeness to everything, I'm not a huge fan of Hard Rock. That is my least favorite premier. It's a nice hotel. And again, it's close to everything, which is fantastic. It has the water taxi, it has, the walking paths to the parks, but it needs some loving. It's time for a little, rehab on it,
Refresh.
I think. And I mean, yeah, I agree.
My least favorite is gonna be Cabana Bay. I've stayed there several times as recently as this past January. I just don't love it. It does have that great, amazing retro vibe, but I feel like with all of the other properties and the various amenities that they offer, even just being closer to the parks, I feel like Cabana Bay is not as close as some of the other resorts, so I kind of enjoy being closer to the parks than what Cabana Bay offers. And it does have that same thin walls, thin ceilings. If you're on one of those floors where people are above you, you can definitely feel like somebody is walking on your head. So, sorry, Cabana Bay.
My least favorite is also going to be one of the Endless Summers, but I actually chose Endless Summer Dockside as my number 8. And, like Allison said, Dockside and Surfside are really similar. And there are a lot of things about Dockside that I do like. Dockside has those great 2-bedroom suites, which offer, 3 queen size beds. You get a little kitchenette area, so there's great space in those rooms. I have stayed there. I would stay there again. The price point is obviously really attractive at both of the Endless Summers. For me, I give the edge to Surfside over Dockside because Surfside is the first one on the bus loop. So for those 2 resorts. So you're going to be dropped off first. You're going to be picked up first at Surfside, whereas with Dockside, you're going to be picked up second. Might not be seats on the bus. You're going to be dropped off last, which at the end of a long park day. I also like the quick service at Dockside a little better than Surfside. So there's definitely some toss-ups for me between those 2. But because of location, I give the edge to Surfside over Dockside.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about number 7 here. And some of us have kind of already alluded to what our number 7 would be. But
right, so for me, Surfside is going to be my number 7. Simply really because of the location and it's further away. I just feel like it, it's a value resort. It's very affordable. I think it's got a lot of things going for it. I've stayed there. I just think it's a little bare bones for me, but I'm a travel snob. It's my job, right?
You're allowed to be a travel snob. It's okay.
My number 7 actually is Surfside as well, basically because of the distance to everything. It is a value hotel. It's great for, people on a budget, for space, like you said, with the 2-bedroom suites and stuff. It is, again, farthest away. So that is my number 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to add to it. I am also not, number 7 is Surfside for me. And again, it goes into location. When my family and I are at the parks, we want to get in there. Like we want to get up at, depending on what time it is, 5:30, 6 o'clock. We want to be the first one through those gates. We don't want to wait on the shuttle buses. We don't want to have to wait to get up through the security entrance to get to that line. We just want to get in, get through, and start to enjoy our day. And it's also hard to take midday breaks when you're relying on those shuttles to get back to the room, take a nap, have a pool break. That's something that we kind of enjoy, those midday park breaks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard with Surfside.
Yeah. I'm going to add to that list. Surfside is my number 7 as well. And one thing we haven't mentioned with both of the endless summer properties is that pool hopping, you can only pool hop between the two Surfside properties. So you can't pool hop from Surfside over to like Royal Pacific, whereas the others, you can pool hop kind of between all of them. And so, you're just a little bit more sectioned off from other things, I think, in the endless summers. And that's probably why I would put that one lower on my list as well. So how about number 6? What's everybody's number 6?
So number 6 for me is going to be Aventura. While I appreciate that it's very sleek and modern, and I do, obviously love a rooftop restaurant, I don't know. It's just a little sterile for me. Nothing really screams Universal. For me, I feel like it is a very nice hotel, modern, all the things you need. But I just feel like that could be any hotel in any major city in the country.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, mine is going to be Dockside. Again, proximity to the parks. Even though we're saying it's the farthest away, it's still less than a mile away. Yeah. But right. Compared to the other resorts, it's the bus travel. It's a little bit longer. And again, the amenities, the thinner walls, that's pretty much it.
I agree with Allison. Number 6, Aventura. Relay the Robot has a soft spot in my heart. However, it doesn't have anything that screams Universal to me. It really is just a hotel that they put there. I feel like they tried to swing for maybe a more older adult vibe that Universal lends itself to. But maybe didn't quite swing for the fences and add, some key characteristics that Universal is known for. So yeah, Aventura is just not one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. My number 6 is Cabana Bay, which I realize is a little bit contentious because that is many people's favorite property. It is kind of the flagship hotel at Universal, and I totally get that. I love the retro vibe of Cabana Bay. I love retro anything. And so, the first time we ever stayed there, I was like, oh, I'm going to love this. And there were just a lot of things about it that I did love. I do love the pools at Cabana Bay. I do love the bowling alley. I do love the proximity to Volcano Bay. I mean, you have your own walking path into Volcano Bay from Cabana Bay. And so that's really awesome. I love that it's got space for larger families, so they have family suites, they have 2-bedroom suites, they have, a lot of different accommodation options. So there are many perks to Cabana Bay that I do like and appreciate. But, kind of like Amy said with Hard Rock, I feel like Cabana Bay just needs a little bit of a refresh. And so that's why I would put it a little bit further down on my list for sure. So let's talk about number 5. What's everybody's number 5?
Number 5 for me, Cabana Bay.
Okay.
And we're getting towards the top now, so I'm going to focus more on the things that I like. Like Ginger mentioned, the proximity to Volcano Bay and the private entrance to get in, beating the crowds. Very nice. Not having to worry about getting on a bus, you can run back in your wet bathing suit. There's a lot of great things. The lazy river, like you mentioned. I love the bars that are outside at the pool on both sides. There's always something going on, people having fun. And for me, I love the Volcano Bay view suites and rooms. They're a little bit of a further walk from like the bus stop and everything, but you can't beat that view. Stayed there last year with one of my girlfriends, and we woke up every morning, floor to ceiling window view of the volcano, and we had some great people watching from up there as well into the water park. So we saw some good stuff.
That's awesome.
Well, my number 5 is going to be Aventura. Again, I think it's a great hotel. I think it's geared more towards an adult or, girls trip, couples trip, something like that. The rooftop bar is fantastic. But again, like everyone kind of said, it's kind of not very Universal themed. It's more of, it's a sleek, nice hotel, and I'll probably stay there again. But as pick wise, I'd say number 5 would be that one.
So my number 5 was Dockside. I love the price point, and it's great for large families. But the pizza there for me is just it's delicious. Whether end of the day, midday lunch, there's just something about that pizza there. Like it's absolutely addicting. Their pool to me is fantastic, and I love a good pool. Midday breaks. It For me it is a nice hotel, and I do kind of like the theming, especially in the bigger like the 2-bedroom suites. It's a very relaxed, vacationy, beachy kind of vibe. Not just, okay, we're going to try to cram as many people into one room. You really can relax in that space and not feel like you're on top of one another. So I really do like Dockside.
Yeah. My number 5 is Aventura as well. If I'm not going to pay the extra money to stay in a preferred or a premier resort, of the value options, Aventura is probably the one that I'm going to pick, because it is clean, and like that's something that I appreciate. Is it is the newest of the prime values. The Endless Summers are both newer; those are the values. But of the prime values between Aventura and Cabana Bay, this one is the newer of the two. I kind of like the sleek, ultra modern feel of it. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but it is mine. I do enjoy that. I really like the pool area there. They have a lot of cool spots to kind of lounge, and that rooftop, restaurant is really awesome too, to have all those different views, kind of 360 from the top of the property. So I really like that one a lot. And if I'm going value, that's probably where I'm going to be. So let's move into the top 4. We're kind of into our top half now of our rankings. So what's everybody's number 4 favorite?
It's tough because now I'm going through my head, I'm like, do I have all of them in my head? But I do. Mine's going to be Royal Pacific. Truth be told, I haven't stayed there, but I've toured it and I've visited it many, 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 many times. I don't really have anything negative to say about the resort. I think that sushi bar they have is fantastic. I think the pool is beautiful. It's just a little bit further away. Again, here we go with the further away. It's really not far away, but in terms of walking, I think one of the reasons why I pay for a premier resort is because I can walk to the parks, and it's just a little bit further to walk from Royal Pacific. But top notch. Love that resort. Would stay there in a heartbeat anytime.
Well, mine is going to be Portofino Bay Hotel. I know a lot of people love that. It's a great hotel. There's honestly nothing wrong with it. I just feel like it's more, I don't want to say adult focused, but to me, it reminds me of being like in Italy. Like it's more, they have 3 pools there. It's a beautiful resort, but I think as far as, theming and stuff like that, I think it's geared more towards an adult type environment. The good thing about that, though, they also do have the Despicable Me suites, which are fantastic for the kids. So, I mean, there's really nothing bad about it. It's just, it had to fall in somewhere. Right.
No.
So I'm going to go with Royal Pacific. And I do like that. I actually really like that hotel. That's one of the first hotels I've actually stayed at on property. Just that first second you walk through the doors and that aroma, like I hope they make it as a candle, because that is something I would love to light in my home. It's like, I'm here.
It smells great in there.
It does. It smells fantastic. But even, we've been going there for a number of years, even as, back right before COVID, when they had the luau, which they're bringing back later this June, which I'm excited to see. The pools are great. I love that tropical vibe, even like kind of the splash pad area or splash area with the boat. Like it's multi-purpose for different aged families. So if you got little ones, older ones, it's a great resort for that. And the walk, I mean, you grab a cup of coffee and 10 minutes later you're at the park. So all depends on your stride.
Yeah.
Guess mine's shorter than yours.
Sorry.
So my number 4 is, again, this is going to ruffle some feathers, I'm sure, but my number 4 is Hard Rock. Because it hurts my heart a little bit to put a premiere not in the top 3. And it's close. I mean, it's number 4. But of the 3 premier resorts, Hard Rock is my least favorite. And that's not anything to do with the location. The location, I think, of Hard Rock is actually the best one of the 3 premiers. It's the absolute closest hotel to any Universal park. However, I will say that I do think it needs a little bit of a refresh. And so, the rooms, they're not uninhabitable or anything like that. But compared to either of the other 2 premieres, I think that Hard Rock is not quite on the same level. And so, if I'm going to pay for a premier property, I would rather be at either of the other 2. I also don't love the quick dining options at Hard Rock all that much. There's not as many options there as there are at the other 2. I think Portofino is probably the best in terms of like different food options available. But I like a lot of things about Hard Rock. I love its location, love the free unlimited express pass, but the rooms just need a little love, in my opinion. Yeah. Now, what you're looking at here is actually a really cool graphic because you can see each of the resorts that we've talked about. So we'll start at the top of the screen, the kind of not teal, I guess turquoise color circle there is Portofino Bay. The lime green is Hard Rock, and you can see the red square is both parks. So you can see what we were just saying about the proximity of Hard Rock to the parks. The yellow circle, that's a circle, guys. The yellow circle is Royal Pacific, and then the blue circle is Sapphire Falls, which I'm sure we're about to talk about here in just a little bit. So speaking of which, let's talk about our number 3s. What's everybody's number 3?
Number 3 for me is Hard Rock. It's in the top 3 simply for the location. Like you guys mentioned, we were at Halloween Horror Nights last year and scared our pants off, and we just could quickly run back to the room, which was great. I do love the kitchen, the restaurant. I love the look of the hotel from the outside. It's very California to me. I love the pool. I love a lot of things about it. I love the vibe, the bar and the lobby, but the rooms need some help. And honestly, if the rooms have an update, it's going to be bumping up to like maybe 1 or 2 on my list. So, come on.
Do it, Universal.
Well, mine's going to be Sapphire Falls. I love the price point of it. I think it's great that it has the option of the water taxi, where the other ones do not. It's a good, I think, pick for someone in the middle of the road that's looking for, not the premier level, but not the value level. And I think there's a lot of options for dining there. I think it's a good pick.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with Amy. I also love the Sapphire Falls as my number 3. Kicking it off, I'm a rum girl. I love a good rum bar, and the Strongwater Tavern definitely has some of the best selections of rum that I've ever seen. But then also, as your kids get older, Universal, while they have rides for everybody, the kids suites, I think, definitely, I actually love all the kids suites, but with Sapphire Falls, it's a tropical theme. So if your kids aren't into Minions or Jurassic Parks, but you still want that extra space, the kids suites at Sapphire Falls are great. And you get that extra space. And again, the water taxi is fantastic. You're not getting the express passes, but you are getting the early park admission. So I do think, it is a great resort for all that it has to offer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Number 3 for me is also Sapphire Falls. And Sapphire Falls is actually where I chose to stay on my next Universal vacation in a couple of weeks. We're paying to add on the express pass, to our ticket, but we love that hotel so much that we were like, let's stay there and we'll just pay out of pocket for our express pass, because like a lot of you guys have said, I love the rooms there. I love the dining options there. I love the pool there. That's actually the largest property at any, or the largest pool at any on-site Universal property. So it's an incredible pool. And my kids definitely want the opportunity to swim in that pool. So that's a major reason that we're staying there. But it has so many of the perks of those premier levels in that water taxi. You can actually walk to the parks. I mean, it's a little bit further. It might take you 12, 15 minutes to walk from there, but it's definitely doable. But I love it just for the feel, just the vibe of it. It's very relaxing. It feels like vacation to me. And if they were to turn it into a premier and give it Express Pass, I would stay there every time. Like that would be where I would always go. So, and it's interesting too, how many of our agents, Sapphire Falls is their favorite hotel, and how many Universal team members have also told me on the phone and different times that it's their favorite too. So it gets a lot of love from within the travel industry as well. All right, so let's move on to number 2.
Okay, number 2 for me is Sapphire Falls. We are having our annual conference at Universal this year, and we're staying there. The conference is going to be there, so I'm really looking forward to staying there, not visiting the parks and, obviously our conference, but enjoying the hotel, the Strongwater Tavern. Like Jen mentioned, I think the lobby, those, what are they, like big,
Like
I mean, they're big orbs. We'll go with it. And they are absolutely stunning. Is it Amista Cookhouse is fantastic.
Amethyst, yeah.
And that whole kind of Pirates of the Caribbean staircase that they've got going, the pools, everything. If it had Express Pass, it would be number 1 at my top of my list. So I'm really looking forward to staying there in November for extended time.
Well, my number 2 is Cabana Bay. That actually, the theming, I love the retro theming. I love that there's so much to do at that hotel that, if you don't have a park day, you have the lazy river, you have the access right into Volcano Bay, the private access, the view from the Volcano View Suite, the rooms. It's just, I think it's a fun hotel between the bowling alley. And yes, I do think it could need a refresh as well, but it's high up there on mine. I think it's just the retro theme. It has, a special place in my heart, I guess.
My number 2 is Portofino Bay. We were just there in January, standard room. And I think one of the things that blew me away was that the standard room was actually a really good size compared to some of the other hotels. And not that the other standard rooms are small, but it just was kind of like you walk in, the bathroom is a decent size, the flooring around the beds is a decent size, as you can see in the video. They really are good size rooms. There's tons of food options, when you leave the park and you're over at Portofino Bay. There's 3 different pools there, and there's even in the 3, there's a hidden pool that some people don't know about. So if you just kind of want to go lay out with a good book and not be bothered, you can definitely go find that quiet pool and just kind of take it easy and catch some sun. So yeah, number 2 for me is Portofino.
Number 2 for me is Royal Pacific. I love Royal Pacific. I've stayed there several times. Would totally stay there again. Like so many people have already said, it smells amazing in there. They have recently redone the rooms, so everything's fresh and new. They have a lot of really fun things in the luau. They have when they bring it back, we hope they will. There was a Minions character breakfast there at one point in time. There's just a lot of things. There's great restaurants there at Royal Pacific. So Islands of Adventure is my favorite of the 2 main parks. And so this one is the closest to that park. And so it's easier to get over there in the morning, particularly when they are doing early park admission in that park. You can kind of get over there really quickly. And all of the premieres, I love the fact that you're not walking through City Walk to get to the parks. Anything except a preferred or a premier, if you're taking the shuttle bus, you are walking through City Walk, which that can be great. You can grab breakfast on your way in through City Walk, but you are going through the same security that the people coming up from the parking garage that may maybe you're staying off site or going through. Whereas at the Preferred and the Premiers, you have your own separate security. It's a whole lot easier to get into the parks, and you're not walking through City Walk. So it does just kind of position you to be there as one of the first people walking through the doors in the morning, which I like to be that person.
The private security, the private security entrance, I think, is like the next best feature, aside from the Express Pass. I think it's
for sure.
So makes a difference.
It does. Absolutely. All right. So this is where it gets hard. What was everybody's number one?
Portofino for me. I love Italy. I love Portofino, and you really do feel like that's where you are. You can hop on a Vespa. I mean, you can't go anywhere on the Vespa, but you can take pictures.
You can sit there.
Like you said, there are 3 pools. Mama Della's is my favorite restaurant on all of Universal's property. We had just the best experience there. The rooms were just refurbished. I love the carpet. I love the new headboards. The pool is amazing. They have beach toys for the kids to play with in the sand. And you can really you feel like you're not at a theme park when you lay out by the pool there or go to dinner there. And I love the little St. Mark's Square where they have the opera singers out at night and everyone's sitting outside at tables. Like you don't feel like you're at Universal. Not that you don't want to be at Universal, but you really feel like you're on vacation. So for me, I love Portofino hands down, but I mean, I do really love all of the resorts at Universal. I would stay at any of them if it meant going to Universal. So, it was hard to pick, the ones I don't like, but I love them all.
Well, my number one is going to be Royal Pacific, simply because that was one of the first ones I've ever stayed at. I love the theming. I love the smell. Basically, everything everyone went over already between the options of the sushi bar and the lagoon pool, and I absolutely love the bar that's out there right by the pool. What the heck is it? Bula, I think it is.
Oh gosh, if you hadn't asked me, I could have told you.
Say it, but they have like fantastic drinks there. The water taxi, it's closest to Islands of Adventure. Like it just hits the top of my list.
So my number one is clearly not the popular amongst this crew, I don't think. My number one is Hard Rock. It comes down to proximity. I mean, you are a 5-minute walk. Super close. Again, the security feature, being able to walk through security. I don't think I've maybe waited, more than a couple of minutes. You're only sharing that security entrance with Portofino. Very few people walk from Portofino. They take the water taxi, but even still, you have your own private security entrance. You're right next door to the studio side, which is fantastic too. The kitchen, they have one of my most favorite desserts, the kitchen sink dessert, or everything but the kitchen sink dessert. That is my ultimate favorite. And then the pool. So if you are swimming underwater, you can hear the music under the water. And they have tons of activities for the kids by the pool, which is also great. So when you're taking those midday breaks and they're swimming, there's hula games and all sorts of fun stuff going on.
Yeah. They have a really great water slide there too. It's lots of fun.
Yeah.
So my number one is also Portofino Bay. I love that hotel, and like I think it was Allison that said or maybe it was Jen, but the standard rooms there are the largest standard rooms on any property at Universal. And we actually stayed club level last time we were here, and the club level rooms are even larger. And so it was just really nice to have that extra space. My kids are 10 and 6, so they're getting to the age where they like to kind of have a little bit extra room. They come with a little bit more stuff now. And so just, having that extra space really made a difference, particularly in the bathroom. Like the bathroom was laid out exceptionally well in those club level rooms. So like the toilet was separated off from the rest of it. Like it was very livable and functional space. And I really liked that. We also loved the club level amenities, and club level is offered at any of the 3 premier. So you can get it at Hard Rock, you can get it at Royal Pacific, you can also get it at Portofino Bay. But it was just we got breakfast every morning as part of that. We had afternoon snacks, we had evening heavy hors d'oeuvres, but it served as dinner. I mean, I had like a full chicken breast and some wild rice and some steamed vegetables. Like it was a full meal. meal. And then they do desserts and cocktails in the evenings. And so, you have a lot of things that are included as part of that club level amenity. Plus you get those nice larger rooms. And I just love the feel of it. Like even strolling around the square, you feel like you're walking through Italy, but you're really just going to Starbucks or getting, pizza. Even the quick service pizza there, Sal's Deli is really good. They had great calzones, great sandwiches, great pizza. So I love that one. And I do like the fact that it's been recently refreshed as well. So I've stayed at all of them. I've stayed at all 8 properties. There's not really one amongst them that I wouldn't stay at again. I would go back to any of them again. Even the ones that we've said like, oh, it's far from the parks. We're revealing our snobbery because like we've already said, they're like a mile from the parks. So we're like, oh, that's too far. You're going to be there in a 5-minute bus ride. Like it's really not that bad at all.
It's the anticipation of getting in there. You want to
exactly.
I can't wait anymore. I've waited 6
Exactly.
months. Let's go.
Exactly. And I mean, being able to just say, hey, we're not going to wait on a bus or we're not going to wait on a water taxi. We're just going to walk. That's a nice option to have, and you can get that with some of those a little bit closer properties. So I think we have had a couple of comments that have come through that we probably want to take a quick look at a couple of them, see what people have to say. Hello. Thank you for watching.
Hi.
Thank you. I'm glad it was helpful. Yeah, the locations are sometimes the hardest part to picture. So my husband made that little map graphic for us. It was very helpful. Oh, another Aventura fan. Yep, it's a great one. Boulevard. There we go. Okay, that's the name of it. Yeah.
I couldn't think of the name of it.
Yeah, we were
They
all
have
blending.
fantastic drinks, though.
Yeah. Awesome. I think that's all of them. Well, thank you all so much for joining us tonight for Sundays with MMT. If you would like to get some information from any of the agents that you heard from this evening, our contact information is back at the beginning of the video. So feel free to reach out and keep in mind that it's not going to cost you any extra to book your vacation through one of our agents than it would just to go on Universal's website and book that vacation yourself. But when you book with an agent, not only are you supporting a small business, but you are also getting concierge level planning assistance at no extra charge. So we can help you with everything from helping you choose the right on-site hotel for your family to giving dining recommendations and monitoring for promotions and handling, issues that might arise. So we're there in your corner for all of that. And we can help you with anything from a theme park vacation to a cruise to an all-inclusive resort or even beyond. So anywhere you want to go, there is a Marvelous Mouse Travels agent that can help you get there. But again, thank you so much for watching with us tonight. And we hope to see you again next Sunday night at 8 p.m. for another episode of Sundays with MMT. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.